In this town, there's no off-season. The news never stops, and neither do we. It's always game day in Cleveland with Andy Baskin and Daryl Ryder.
Welcome to another Brownie Bites, the week that was edition of It's Always Game Day in Cleveland. I'm Daryl Ryder. The Browns coming off last week's 29-24 win over the Ravens. They welcome the other Harbaugh coach to town, Jim Harbaugh, and his 4-3 Los Angeles Chargers. Jim Harbaugh brings the same kind of smash-mouth attitude as his brother John and the Ravens do. He also has a franchise quarterback with a big arm in Justin Herbert, who has nearly 1,450 yards passing with 8 touchdowns and just 1 pick this season. Here's Jim Schwartz, Greg Newsome, and Grant Delpit on that cannon.
You know, a lot of the DNA left over from Baltimore was Greg Roman, who's now the offensive coordinator with Chargers. A little bit of an old school approach. You know, it's try to get first downs. Old school play actions, power running game. You know, there's a lot of teams where, I mean, I think maybe a couple years ago, I don't know if we went the whole season without seeing 21 personnel, fullback and, 2 wideouts and or even the big packages. And, that's just sort of standard for those guys. It's just sort of a throwback a little bit, but run, play action. Play action doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a home run shot. A little bit old school, just leak somebody to the flat, keep the chains moving, run a lot of screens, those kind of things. They get in field goal range, don't take a whole lot of chances, get their field goal backed up, don't take a whole lot of chances, punt the ball is fine, it really is. It's an old school way of playing it, and, so there are some similarities, that way. But there's still a lot of challenges with it too. I mean, the quarterback has maybe the best arm talent in the NFL, and he's now getting healthy with his mobility. Runs the offense really well. Tough scheme. They certainly are playing well, and they're going to take our full attention.
He's one of the only guys that can throw a dot off his back leg. Like a lot of teams that we play is like make them throw the ball like this. He's a guy that can make every single throw. I definitely think he's probably got the best arm talent we've gone against so far this year. So that's definitely a guy where you got to be true at all times, and we just got to find a way to plaster our guys and be great in phase 3, which is the finish.
Oh yeah, he definitely has a great arm. You can see plays where he doesn't even have to step in the throws and he's still throwing the ball on the money, 20, 30 yards. Outcuts, don't matter wherever on the field. Arm talent's there for sure. He's diving, throwing the ball, stuff like that, man. So he's very talented. He has a nice number 1 receiver that's developing right now, 15. So, I think he's found his guy and kind of in their stride right now. They got 4 wins, so they're moving pretty good.
Browns cornerback Denzel Ward is questionable after suffering his 6th known NFL concussion last week. He practiced on Friday along with left guard Joel Bitonio, who is expected to play. Jameis Winston expected to start for the Browns for the remainder of this season. Well, at least that's the plan.
Jameis, as you guys know, he's the same guy all the time, whether it's on the phone or in person or at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. I mean, he has a ton of energy. He's got great enthusiasm for the game. Loves to talk football. Loves to talk X's and O's. So that was evident, and that's what the research said when we reached out to former teammates, former coaches. Everybody said the same thing. I think it's just authenticity. I think guys respond to authenticity regardless of what it looks like or sounds like or the content of what you're saying. I just think he's being himself.
Feels like one start. My main focus is getting back out there and having a great practice today and continuing to lead this offense to do what we're capable of doing. I feel like as a team, we ran the football effectively. We made the completions when they were there. We are going to eliminate some things, but we're going to build on the positives, and we're going to keep our mind focused on those positives and build it upon that. My preparation is to be an NFL starting quarterback, to be a great NFL starting quarterback. My preparation has to be to the standard that's required, and nothing's going to change about that. Similar conceptually in terms of their coverages and everything. Personnel, when you got Khalil Mack, you have Joey Bosa, you have great interior guys, great linebacker group, great DBs. I know one of them personally, Derwin James. He's a beast. Man, I believe in us. You know, I believe that we're a great physical team. I believe in Nick Chubb. I believe in Wyatt Teller. I believe in Ethan Poet. I believe in Joel Bitonio. Like, our guys are physical. Our guys are up for the challenge, and I think that's what football is. You know, they're gonna have guys. They got some good guys. But I believe in my guys.
The Browns are trying to build some momentum heading into the bye week with their third win of the season. It would be also their first back-to-back victories of the campaign.
It was a nice gasper there, but we still laying on the table. We gotta get another one before we get this thing really rolling. We gotta start streaking, and I think this locker room will really turn around, and guys really understand what we have and what we can do this season. I think this one, when we get this one, it'll completely change the atmosphere around the team. So I think this is a big one for us, and we have to go ahead and secure this, go into the bye week, recover, get some guys back, and then go into these next weeks knowing that they're pretty much all playoff games.
We needed to win bad. I think we were all excited to get that, but on Monday we corrected ourselves and we were hard on the film and said, hey, what do we need to get better at? We know it's a week-to-week business, but the win helped morale for sure. But the guys are been working this week, and we're excited for another challenge.
It can mean a lot. I definitely think we can use this win for our benefit, learn some things from it, going against a very high-powered offense in the Ravens. So I think that's definitely a confidence win for us, and we're just looking to continue to build and work our way back into this thing. But it's 1-0, each week.
Tuesday at 4 p.m. is the NFL trade deadline. Zadarius Smith and Greg Newsome, the top two names that seem to get mentioned on the rumor mill. Newsome really isn't worried about it, and neither is Myles Garrett.
Like I said, man, I built a home here. I built a lot of brothers here. I built great relationships with everyone in the building, and I know my value, and I know they know my value. So at the end of the day, my goal is to do my part and to continue to get this team 1-0 each week. But definitely, you see things like that. But at the end of the day, I got trust, in the Lord above that whatever happens, I'll be great. But I know AB trusts me fully out there, so I'm really not looking at that stuff.
I'm gonna continue to play with Z, so I'm not too worried about throwing out my pleasantries and compliments now. I'll be able to tell them at the end of the year.
Earlier this week, the Browns unveiled the first look at what their $150 to $200 million expansion in Berea is going to look like, as they're calling it District 46, a cross-country mortgage campus. It includes the University Hospital Sports Medical Center, parking garage, apartments, 30,000 square feet of retail space, a community field house, and 7,000-seat multi-purpose community stadium. The team hopes to break ground in the spring with an opening date set for some time in 2027. That was a look at Week 9 out in Berea. Andy Baskin and I will be back after the game Sunday for our post-game podcast. Thanks, as always, for watching us on YouTube, as well as downloading and subscribing wherever you get your podcasts, including that free Odyssey app. For my partner, Andy Baskin, I'm Daryl Ryder, reminding you, it's always game day in Cleveland.